Now that you've gotten to see Sharrah's first apartment, I thought I would take you through and point out some of the details from a design perspective of some of the things that we did that made this place kind of special, kind of unique. Let's start in the living room. Right here we have this great sectional sofa, which is great, but what I did was I added a couple things. I added things like custom-made pieces like this coffee table, along with things that I got at Home Goods that were very inexpensive. We also did a custom-made bookcase right here in this little alcove, and I actually had it made to be the exact size of the opening, as well as just really random and very rustic pieces of wood strewn across this rustic sort of metal strips. It was all very, very common stuff, but it makes for a very hip, unique, and fun look in this room. Over here I created a great conversational area, not only with the sofa, but with these two hassocks, which are like poofs, and then this great retro chair and a little table that we have over here. What I mean by a conversational area, that means that the circle is completed, or sometimes it's a U shape, but if you can make a square out of it, where your seating goes all the way around, now you have the makings for a perfect seating area in your living room or your family room. Wasn't it fun for Sharrah and her friends to find out that they got a brand new TV? I thought it was pretty cool. And of course, this rustic wood wall made of reclaimed wood, in my opinion, topped off this entire project. Over here, this is kind of cute. Grayson did this door that pops down, and inside here we have the heating and air conditioning, which was on this wall, and a light switch. And look at this. This takes these puck lights that are up here from where they are now to a soft, medium, and bright. Let's go on over to the dining room. Now this area, you know, you have a space where you've got two rooms in one. Well, this creates a little bit of a separation, but around here we did these ombre curtains where we started with a darker color, went to a medium and then a lighter, and swung all the way around the room. I think it takes the space and makes a completely different architectural feel just by using fabric and curtains to do it. So as we go around this direction, you'll see that Sharrah has, now here's a little tip. When you're doing a dining room table, unless you have a certain number of people in your family that you have to buy chairs for, I like to just get things in, like if it's a round table, I like odd numbers, like 5 or 7 or 9. Not so much on a square or rectangular table, but at a round, it's awesome. So you get this really kind of unique look with a beautiful chandelier. Now this is cool because this gives us the ability to bring in both that kind of Hollywood glam look by having the mirrors underneath here and the Edison bulbs, but on top we have this like rope effect, and that brings in that rustic kind of a urban and industrial feel in this one piece alone. So you can see how we've married the two design styles together. Placemats, you know what I always like to do? I like to multiply them, lay them on top of each other, and create really a tablescape out of something as simple as placemats. Different textures, different colors, different hues. That gives us room now for all of the things that you would normally put on a single placemat, and you know how there's just never enough room. Multiply your placemats and you're gonna have a great look. By adding the antler to the center of the table, fresh tulips, and even something as simple as a pine cone topped with gold glitter. Look how beautiful that is. That kind of thing not only looks very earthy and natural, but it also brings in just a touch of the holidays as well. So I think Sharrah and her friends are going to be very well set for some great entertaining this season. Let's go this way. This is one of my favorite things, okay? So I had this idea that once our curtains stopped, I needed some texture on a wall. So here's what I did. I looked in my garage and I found a couple of rolls of old wallpaper that we had left over from a project. Grayson put these 2 rolls on, and you'll also notice that he covered the switch plates with the grass cloth as well. But there was a problem. How do you go from grass cloth to drywall and make it look right? There's always going to be that transition. Normally when you use a grass cloth, you do all the walls, right? But if you're gonna stop on a drywall wall, that's gonna look a little weird. Here was my thought. Why not get something rustic, just to go with the theme? So I got burlap ribbon. I hot glued the burlap ribbon right onto the edge of the wallpaper, and then every 1.5 inches apart, we nailed in nail heads. They're actually called dads, but they are nail heads all the way down. And I just thought that really kind of finished that off so nice. So ultimately, this entire wall that we did here, because I had so much of this stuff, cost us probably $5 for this ribbon. That's pretty cheap to add a great look to your room. On into the bedroom. There were a few challenges in the girls' bedroom, and here's what they were. Number one, these weird, funky windows. I like symmetry, and we had 2 beds to put in this room. How do you get symmetry, 2 beds, and 2 windows that are on the side, not in the middle? Here's what I did. I created a fake 3rd window by having my mirror guy make me a mirror right there that would be the same exact size as these windows. And I think it kind of worked. Along with fabric and window treatments, we were able to create what is much more symmetrical looking in the end. The 2 beds, Grayson made these nightstands out of reclaimed wood and did some beautiful gray stain on them. I got them matching bedding from West Elm, cut their comforter in half on the end so they could both have a comforter. And they only got 1 pillow each, so we made it work there. I got the girls' names embroidered with this, their names embroidered on the pillows, and the pillow color happens to be the same as the stitching color in their comforter. So you can see that we mixed and matched the pieces of bedding together to get something that was different and unique and something that was really them. Here's the last thing. I painted this one room, all of it, well, I didn't paint it, I had someone paint it, Indian River by Benjamin Moore, one of my favorite all-time colors. We topped it off with this absolutely amazing Sputnik ceiling fixture. Love it, love it, love it, and it's Edison bulbs. Do you love Edison bulbs? Leave me a comment below and tell me, do you love Edison bulbs? I totally do. The last little simple detail I want to share with you that I think can make a big difference for a little bit amount of time and money is adding wallpaper like a woven wood wallpaper to a desk area. This is just a simple alcove that in and of itself is very boring and plain. This extra leftover wallpaper that we had, we applied to the back wall. We also brought it all the way up to the ceiling above the cabinets, which of course gives the impression that the cabinets are taller, and we put it underneath as well. Something as simple as that, in my opinion, made this little area something special, something to look forward to, and something that really is much more custom. Adding a few pendant lights in the kitchen and some extra art, I think we were able to create a much more customized look for the girls' first apartment. And I, for one, think it turned out pretty special. Thanks for joining me, guys. Bye-bye.